Hello, deal makers. In this video, we'll be talking about Microsoft. Microsoft just released their second quarter earnings results for fiscal year 2021. And let's take a look at the numbers, the performance, and see if we should buy Microsoft stock in 2021. If you like these kinds of videos, please make sure to hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. That helps the channel grow and it encourages me to do more videos like this. Right. Microsoft has three main business segments. First is the productivity and business processes segment. So this is where Office 365 lives. Office has their commercial segment and their consumer segment. So obviously commercial deals with the business licensing of Office 365, while consumer it's more for individuals and families. Then you have Microsoft Dynamics 365, which is the enterprise suite of applications. That includes Microsoft Teams, which came into fame or which became more popular because of the pandemic, and that is Microsoft's answer to Zoom. Then we have LinkedIn, the professional social media network. And LinkedIn generates revenues for Microsoft through advertising and through subscription to LinkedIn Premium. Then we have the more personal computing business segment, which mainly is the Windows, right? Windows segment. Then Microsoft went into creating their own devices with the Surface Pro brands. Then they got into gaming with the Xbox gaming console. And we have MSN advertising, and the Bing search engine for personal computing segment. Then Microsoft also entered into the cloud infrastructure space. So we have the intelligent cloud business segment. So you have the server suite of applications led by Microsoft SQL Server and Microsoft Windows Server. And then you have the Azure cloud infrastructure. And you have also Microsoft Services Premier Support and Microsoft Consulting as well. So that is the intelligent cloud business segment. So all of these three business segments work together to make Microsoft giant, the software giant that it is. So let's look at Microsoft's second quarter financial performance. So as we can see here, total revenue of Microsoft grew by 17%. And across the board, now you can see growth, but growth was actually led by the intelligent cloud business segment. So productivity and business processes went up by 13%, more personal computing went up by 14%, but intelligent cloud went up by 23%. Gross margin went up by 18%, operating income went up by 29%, and net income went up by 33%. So here's the breakdown for the productivity and business processes segment. Office commercial products actually went down from last year. Office consumer products went down as well. Uh, Commercial seat growth also slightly went down, but Microsoft 365 consumer subscribers increased. Uh, I guess that was driven by the work at home initiative. So as more people needed to work from home, they needed 365, Microsoft 365 licenses. The stay at home initiative and also forced companies to go to the cloud, and that explains the increase in Dynamics products and services. LinkedIn was also able to recover. LinkedIn revenue grew year on year by 23 and 22%. The growth has kind of slowed down a bit for LinkedIn, but it's just good. It's good to see that it was able to recover during from the pandemic. So overall revenue grew by 13%, and we can see here that the pandemic was actually good for Microsoft. Microsoft is really well positioned for this move to the cloud and move to work from home. More personal computing in general, most of the product lines for more personal computing did not really grow, and in fact some of them was really giving ground. So like my Windows OEM went down, Windows non-Pro, OEM non-Pro was also went down, although it went up during the pandemic, but it's already slowing down. Windows Commercial is also, slowing down already. Surface increased a little bit, but it was really Xbox that drove revenue for more personal computing because search advertising revenue did not grow as much. But fortunately, search advertising was able to recover from the drops during the pandemic. So it's kind of uneven, but it's just good that the pattern is going up already, mainly driven by Xbox. As more people are locked down, they are more likely to play games. Moving on to the intelligent cloud business, and uh, we can see that intelligent cloud grew by 26%, adjusted for currency to 24%. Okay? Mainly driven by revenues from Azure. So Azure is really driving the intelligent cloud business segment, and and we will see later that Azure is one of the growth drivers for Microsoft in the future. Right, let's look at the growth drivers for the productivity and business processes segment. The main drivers will be LinkedIn and Microsoft Dynamics 365 as more companies go into the cloud or migrate into the cloud. There's still a uh, huge segment of the business world that is still housing their enterprise applications in their own private servers, and not all of them have jumped into the cloud just yet. So Microsoft still has a huge market in front of them, although of course they'll be competing with stalwarts like Salesforce, Oracle, and SAP. Now, LinkedIn will also be another growth driver for this business segment because as more people sign up to the LinkedIn social network and as more of them avail of premium services, then that means this will continue to be a source of growth for this business segment. For more personal computing, as you saw earlier, most of the product lines have actually, I guess, either have actually stagnated or even went down. And this is actually being driven by Xbox. Xbox has moved into a subscription service. So currently they have 18 million subscribers already. And then finally, now intelligent cloud will be driven by Azure. So Azure grew by 50%, now 50% last quarter, and I do believe that they will continue to grow as more enterprises, as more companies recognize the need to go into the cloud. Microsoft is sitting on a number of mega trends, a number of technological trends that will be driving the future. Now, we all know I've been mentioning the move to cloud computing. Cloud computing is here to stay, and it's going to continue to grow more and more because of other innovations like 5G. So when we fully embrace 5G, companies are going to be seeing more data, right? Because of everything that 5G enables, smart manufacturing, healthcare, logistics, autonomous transportation, all of these will have huge amounts of data and huge amounts of data to process, huge amounts of data to sift through for machine learning and artificial intelligence and analytics and all of that that will need to sit somewhere. That's where Azure comes in. Okay? As I mentioned earlier, artificial intelligence is here to stay, machine learning is here to stay, and Azure is powering artificial intelligence for many companies. Then there is the Internet of Things revolution. which will be powered by 5G. So all of these devices that need to communicate with each other through the internet is going to drive a lot of data into companies, and sifting through that data and the need to store that data and sift through the data, make sense of all that data is where Azure comes in. So I hope you're already seeing how big Azure really is for Microsoft. It's going to be their biggest growth driver in the future. Xbox will contribute, LinkedIn will contribute, Dynamics will contribute, but Microsoft's future will hinge on their ability to push Azure forward. And what I love about Microsoft is, unlike other big tech companies, with the exception of Apple. Now, Apple and Microsoft are the only, I guess, two big tech companies that I know of that give a dividend. So it's quite rare for tech companies to give a dividend. And even though this is only less than 1%, I think this is 0.96% dividend yield, but Microsoft is still a growing company. So as Microsoft grows, the good thing here is the dividend grows. All right, so there's a lot of things to love about Microsoft, and if you do, please make sure to also like this video, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. That helps YouTube and that helps the channel grow, and it allows me to grow, and it allows me to make more videos like this. But it's not all a bed of roses, obviously. Being big tech, Microsoft is a target of antitrust and regulatory pressure. Now, Microsoft was hit with antitrust cases in 1998, so they know very well how critical or how huge is the impact of antitrust proceedings. And the good thing is, because of that experience, um, Microsoft knows very well how to deal with these things already. So they're not as under pressure as Facebook or as Google is. But make no mistake, Microsoft is always on the microscope of the regulatory agencies. But the thing that Microsoft really faces right now, the biggest risk to Microsoft is the competition, from other big tech companies. And Azure, I mentioned Azure as the biggest growth driver for Microsoft, but Azure faces stiff competition from Amazon. Amazon is the number one in cloud infrastructure. Microsoft Azure is just number two, and then there's Google at number three. And who knows what other company will emerge as a serious competitor. There's IBM, there's Alibaba, there's Tencent. Now, these companies are not yet big challengers, but they can become big challengers in the future. Now, Xbox is a big growth driver also for Microsoft, but Xbox will face stiff competition from Nintendo and from mobile gaming. So as more and more people shift to mobile games instead of console gaming, that is going to be a challenge for Xbox as well. I hope. And their productivity and business processes segment is going to face stiff competition from a lot of startups and a lot of established players like Oracle, Salesforce. So with all that, should you buy Microsoft stock now? Well, let's look at the research. Let's look at what Wall Street says. So we're here at Etoro. Remember that when you open an Etoro account, you will get $50. Remember, when you open an Etoro account, you'll get a $50 bonus when you use my referral link below. That is a refer a friend link. When you go directly to Etoro, no, you don't get that bonus. So make sure that should you decide to buy Microsoft using Etoro, make sure to use the referral link below to get free money from Etoro. So looking at Microsoft's research tab, we have here unanimous. The Wall Street analysts are unanimous in agreement. They all give a buy rating for Microsoft. So that's 100% strong buy rating from 26 analysts. So there's no dissenting opinion when it comes to Microsoft. And you can see here that the median price range or price target is 274 and Microsoft is 239. So there is a 14.79% upside. Looking at the lowest estimate, it's 245. So there's still upside right now. Hurry up and buy Microsoft with the highest coming in at $315. So here are the latest analyst coverage. We have Daniel Ives from Wedbush giving Microsoft a $285 price target. Alex Zukin of RBC Capital with a 290 price target, and Mark Murphy with a 245 price target. Hedge funds have been steadily decreasing their Microsoft holdings, um, taking advantage of the fact that Microsoft has been growing, so locking in their profits. But Ken Fisher now still increased his holdings in Microsoft. Now, insiders have sold $67.8 million dollars in the last 3 months. So insiders have been selling, again, taking advantage of the uh, upward trend in Microsoft stock. But most of these transactions have been uninformative sells. So nothing to worry about on insider selling. So should I buy Microsoft stock now? Well, I won't go against Wall Street. I also love Microsoft as a stock. I don't own shares yet, but as soon as I have cash available, I will be buying into Microsoft stock. So yes, for me, it is a long-term buy. I love the story on Microsoft, the growth driven by Xbox, the growth available from Azure, definitely, and the growth from Dynamics 365 and LinkedIn. So, and I hope you like this video because we will be doing more analysis videos like this. Up next is Facebook, Tesla, and GM. Make sure to smash the like button, if you like these kinds of videos. That's for the YouTube algorithm, and that's to help the channel as well. You can also check out my top 21 stocks for 2021. In addition to Microsoft, I recommend 20 other stocks for 2021. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I have new stock analysis videos and when I talk about other topics in the future. And this has been Ronald Kagape. I enjoyed making this video. I hope you learned a lot too. And I encourage you, to take advantage as the stock market continues to go up. Strike while the iron is hot. Make deals and may all of your deals push through.